Hello everybody. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I'm doing fine. Cool weather today, and that is the order of the time. It is getting colder every day here in North America. Today I just want to pose a question to us. Do we, as African women, do we accept aging poor or poorer? Do we compromise such that our position is that we age poorer? I think in most instances we do. So is it true? I think in most instances it is true. I think maybe it's because of the way we are raised. We are raised to wait for Baba, the husband, the father, grandfather, to be the breadwinner, to be the one who brings money or brings food to the house while you do the preparation and the feeding of the family. So in general, I'm happy to say that I can see that is changing. There's more women that are in positions of power. There's more women that are starting their own businesses. There are more women, whether married or unmarried, that are pursuing careers that put them in that position where they have power and control. It is something that has happened to our generation and the generations before, and hopefully we continue to move forward towards getting the young woman to be independent of men, to be independent of parents, to be independent of having to rely on somebody for their upkeep. We end up living longer. Nature has it that women tend to live longer than men. And after working so hard taking care of the family, as well as doing the menial tasks or whatever career that you choose, because you were not preparing yourself for being the one who is going to be here on earth on your own, you find that you struggle. Most of our parents were not wealthy enough. They did not leave anything, either for the one spouse or the other. So the remaining spouse starts to scramble to make a living. And most of the time, it's the women. I remember watching one lady who, when her husband passed, she was very comfortable. She lived in a decent township home with us, but they were well taken care of. The husband provided. But unfortunately, when he passed on, I don't think he left anything in place so that this woman would have continued to live the lifestyle they were living before. So she started selling vegetables. She started going to the small patches of fields like the rest of the poor women were doing. It was like a fall from grace for her. And it was sad to watch her. You could see the sadness written all over her face. We were young. I was young, but I could see it. I didn't understand what was happening, but I could tell that her lifestyle had changed because the husband had passed. She was good with her hands, thank goodness, working in the fields, sewing, knitting, and she continued to make a living and take care of her children. But you can see that happening to many of our African women, that they are left unprepared. They are not involved in the running of the financial affairs, such that when anything happens to the husband, they're left in the dust. So we tend to see, even in the developed countries, where women of color end up living in those very poor nursing homes. They have no income, so they are relying on social services, government services to be taken care of, because they were never given that opportunity to thrive on their own, to prepare for themselves if in the event. Am I talking about something that you have seen or have heard or have witnessed in your lives? Let's comment in the section below and conversate about it so that we can empower our young women and to better prepare them to be independent, to be able to take care of themselves, and not be reliant continuously on a spouse, on a fiance, on the brother, but be able to stand up and be grounded fully by themselves. We are not saying that we don't need each other. We need the men. The men need us in different situations, not for procreation only. There are so many instances where we are supportive of each other to make this world a better place. But when it comes to preparation for the departure of one or the other, I have observed that we women find ourselves in poverty, in difficult situations, because we are never involved, or we are never invited to the table, so to speak. So how do we do that? How do we teach our children, our girl children, to look at themselves as being enough, being able to self-sustain? I think we educate them. We start letting them know that they are okay to pursue careers that will provide for them. They are okay pursuing business ideas that come to mind. Don't look at the failure. Don't look at what people will say about it. Just do it if you think it's the right thing for you. Look out for people who are in your path that can help you uplift, not bring you down. It is well documented Black women age well, but they have to navigate tougher barriers that include, if you're talking of North America, racism, sexism everywhere, and ageism, especially if you're going to age in the developed countries, more so in North America. Those isms are there, still exist up to this day. There is documented evidence that women are paid lower than men for the same amount of work. Yep. There is still evidence that women get paid less for the same amount of work that the men are doing. Why? It's because we don't deserve to be paid, and yet we put in as much effort, as much hard work as the men themselves. It boggles the mind. As women just get older, we tend to be burdened by caregiving. We become the primary caregivers. We become the primary caretakers of family or friends. It just is what happens. I still am looking to hear of more than 5-10 men who have this role of being the primary caregiver of their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister, without having to rely on a woman, a female. It can be employing a caregiver, that would end up being a female. It can be asking a relative to come and help, and most likely it's going to be a female. Worldwide, wherever women are, we tend to get that burden of being caregivers. How then do we prepare for ourselves? Who is going to be the caregiver of yours truly? Because most of the time we are the ones who plan for the caregiving of others. I think it's time that we start thinking of positioning ourselves in such a way that if in the event that we do need someone to caregive, to give us that help, we are going to be able to do it. We need to teach our girl children to be able to invest in themselves, self-care, preserve this body that you have as much as possible, so it can take you on a longer journey with it being a good, powerful vehicle. That is first and foremost. We need to let our girl children embrace that it is okay to be selfish in some instances, selfish to preserve oneself. We need to teach ourselves to honor the fact that we are valuable, we are okay, and we do not need to be beggars of affection, of finances, of whatever it is, but being able to be self-sufficient in all ways. Let's not forget we are human beings. It is good to be in the company of friends, girlfriends, male friends, family. There is nothing wrong with having company, but we need to start thinking in terms of being able to be okay, to have the resources that we need to take care of ourselves in the event nobody else is there to do. Put your comments so we can talk about these conversations. I would love to hear what you think about it. Most of the time we are quiet. We feel we don't have a voice. Let's put a voice to our thoughts, our feelings, how we look at society, and how society looks at us. In the meantime, take care of yourself. We will chat again soon. Bye.